Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a 2B t shirt, one of the best waifus of our generation. I haven't done a podcast in a couple of days because it's just been too hot, and I've been too tired. Because, I work overnights, and so you get home and then it's hot, so you don't want to record because you have all these fans on. Like, I just turned the fan off, but see, it's like 4 a.m. and it's 82 degrees. That's unheard of. Now, I've lived in different states where it's like 90 at night, but that was a different state. This is California. This is Los Angeles. So you're used to it being 70 pretty much, all year. So when you get a heat wave, it's the end of the world. But it is what it is. So I got my bench press. I've been well. Okay, here's the thing. You're probably thinking, well, hey Frank, how come you just don't go to a gym? Well, if you look at a woman at a gym, it's called sexual harassment. I don't want that hassle because I will stare and I will look, and I will not hide the fact that I'm looking. I mean, like when I'm out in public and I see a woman, I stare, but it's out in public, so it's different. But apparently, if you're at the gym and look at a woman, it's sexual harassment. So I just I don't want to end up on TikTok like this guy keeps looking at me. Anyway, but yeah, so like all day today, I was hitting the bench press. Well, because the thing is, I know it's so hot, but the thing is, I don't like wasting my own money. So since I spent money on this thing, I have to use it, which is, I guess that's a good thing. And also, I'll waste your money. Like if you want to send me money to waste, if that's your kink, if you want me to waste your money, be my guest. But anyway, the reason why I hopped on here is I have been keeping track of all the public drug use I have witnessed the past week. And it is amazing, and I think it takes courage. I think it takes a lot of courage to have a crack pipe at 4:30 a.m. walking in the middle of the street smoking. I've seen that a couple times. I just want to applaud. Believe it was a woman. After being homeless on the street and digging through trash cans and being a drug addict, does your gender matter? I mean, that's probably the only time where like I'll accept that they them, because you're not human by that time. If you think it's okay to stumble down the street in the middle of the street at 4:30 a.m. lighting up a crack pipe, if that's okay in your world, you're not even human anymore because you don't fit into society. Like you were, like, that's not even rock bottom. That's just a different stratosphere, different planet. You've become a different species. And all this has happened between 4 and 5 in the morning because it's like when I get off work. I was by what's it called? Jack in the Box in Culver City by Sawtell and Sepulveda. And I'm heading to the corner, like I'm like turning the corner to like jaywalk, because it's like whatever 4:30 a.m. I'm not gonna wait for the light to turn green. I turn the corner and there's this white guy, and I'm describing him like this because I don't know how else to describe him. Like I don't know his name. He was wearing rags, but there's just like white guy, early 20s, sitting on the sidewalk, just like in the middle of the sidewalk. He has all of his belongings there. Like backpack. Broken dreams, no parents. Just and he's like smoking a crack pipe. And I stop and look at him because I could have like tripped over him, because if I would have taken 2 steps to the left, it was possible I could have tripped over him. And so I kind of stopped so I didn't like trip over his belongings. And he looked up at me as he was lighting his pipe, and I looked at down at him after I make sure I was gonna step on his stuff, and I just kept walking because I'm like, oh, that's just a typical day in typical morning in Culver City. And then like I get 2 blocks down, there's like a Shakey's, and there's I think once again I think it was a woman who lives in her van smoking a pipe, and it was either crack or meth. I couldn't tell because I didn't get close enough and I wasn't going to find out, but it was like crack or meth, just in her house van. I'm like, this is great, like just the open drug use. And then like either earlier that week or later that week, it doesn't matter for the purpose of this story. Just, I've probably seen 4 other people between 4 and 5 a.m. just sitting in the middle of the sidewalk, smoking crack, smoking meth. It's like crack and meth are the 2 most popular drugs that the people like to smoke just in broad daylight, or broad morning, or just whatever. They don't hide it. Because, what are you going to do? If you see a homeless person smoking meth on the street, it's not like you're going to stop and lecture them. It's not like you're going to go, hey, make better life choices. No, you're just going to ignore them, let them do their thing, hope you're not having a mental breakdown so they, think you're some, I don't know, hallucination and come after you. That's the problem, because these drugs make people have hallucinations, and it makes them schizo and stuff. So like it's more like you want to see them smoke out in the open so to avoid that person. You're like, okay, this person might have a mental breakdown. So yeah, I mean, it's like better than actually going to a public restroom in a park smoking and then leave the restroom, and now you're out in the world and no one has a warning that you might snap or flip out. So it's actually doing a public service by actually doing your drugs out in the open, because it's like you're letting everyone know you're like a rattlesnake, rattling its tail. You're like, hey, I might be dangerous. Wow, I am dangerous. If you just leave me alone, let me enjoy my high, we won't bother each other. That's what I think. But it's crazy. The numbers, because I walk to work, walk home, so I see the homeless. There's a lot of them, and there's more every day, and there's surprisingly more and more women. There's so many homeless people out there. I want to say it was like 30% of the homeless people I pass are women, and all of them are doing drugs. It's like, I don't understand how if you're homeless, how you can afford crack and meth. Which I want to parlay, which shows how bad our economy is. We've been in a recession since 6 months into Biden's presidency. It's just that we changed the definition, or they changed the definition of a recession. But we've been in a recession for like 3 years, basically. So who knew? And you have inflation, but who knew that it would even affect the illegal drug market? Because I'm just assuming especially a homeless man. I don't see how a homeless man has money. Like, I understand the homeless woman, because on my past couple of weeks, I've seen 2 homeless women having or performing sexual favors on. I saw one homeless woman perform sexual favors on the garbage man. That was funny. And then I saw this other homeless woman just perform some favors for a guy in a 7-Eleven parking lot. So, like, I understand how the homeless women make money to buy drugs. But you know, the homeless men are collecting cans, but no one wants to collect cans. So yeah, like shit gets crazy. In the wee hours of the morning, you know. But it's just crazy how like the homeless population is just expanding day by day, and it's because of our shitty economy. Like people can't afford rent, food. Come on, like fast food. If you just get a burger and fries from a fast food place, it costs more than it would cost at a restaurant. I've actually eaten out a couple of times, and I've gone to restaurants because it's cheaper than going to a fast food place, and that's crazy. Because it's kind of like the fast food places haven't. I mean, sorry, the restaurants, they've gone up in price, but only like $1 or $2. So it's really not that big a difference. But it's like these fast food places where it's like it's like everything's $5 extra now. Just like the double Western cheeseburger. I had one a couple months ago. It was like $9. But if you go back a couple of years, the whole combo, like the large combo, was $9. Now it's just the burger's $9. That is crazy. And I thought the combo for $9 was too much because like I remember back when it was $6, and then I remember back when it was $5. I mean, like, what is going on? I mean, like, one day, basic necessities are just going to cost so much. Poor people are just going to vanish from society because, like, they're going to all starve to death or something. Because I don't see how anyone. I mean, the only people I see who are getting by are obviously rich people. People who make enough money where it just don't matter. Like, I could spend $20 on a hamburger. But, the number of rich people like that is shrinking, and the number of poor people is growing like crazy. And then, like, according to just I don't know how they keep track of this, but like there's news organizations that keep track of unemployment, and if you listen to a center or right leaning news conglomerate, it says unemployment is like crazy high, and if you listen to like a left leaning one, it's like not. So it's probably somewhere in the middle, because you can't even trust the news. Hey, so what's the point of even repeating what they tell us? But supposedly like unemployment's crazy high. So I don't know. It's just crazy. The whole country's gone to hell. But I don't know. Things will probably change soon. And I'm just saying based on when we get a new president. I'm assuming Donald Trump's gonna win because come on, if you vote for Kamala Harris, there's a lot of things wrong. Like, why would you want an Indian woman as our president? And I mean that in a sexist and racist way. She's a communist. I mean, she's been in office for 4 years and things suck. Voting for her again, you're a fucking moron. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, the picture in the background is Karina from Espa. She has a nice rack. She has a really nice body. Espa has two members that have nice bodies. Giselle has a really nice body, and Karina right here has a really nice body. You should check them out. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.